Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of Rocket Knight Adventures, and we can't catch up to the airship. Oh, now we can. Thanks, King! Looks like I found the princess. Oh my god, I found the princess! Come here, you! Oh no! You just pulled a Mario on me. You suck, man, you suck! This royal officer looking guy is going to be a thorn in our sides for the foreseeable future. Well, this level only. And what we have to do here is throw his balls back at him. Yes, I know they're grenades or bombs, but they look like balls. Big red balls! And apparently he's got more than 2 of them. Okay, that tune came out of nowhere. That's what I love about this game. It has so much charm to it. Oh, and I hate this part. Okay, so we're not playing Rocket Knight anymore, but rather Donkey Kong with a side of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Oh, god damn it. Ah! If you get hit by the barrels or the propellers, you'll take damage and fly back. And if you fly back too far, you'll just end up falling off the plane. The barrels themselves don't do that much damage, it's more so the abundance of them that makes them a pain, as well as flying back. That's never gonna get old. Like, why that particular tune? I don't get it. Here's an extra life. If you want it, quickly drop down and then rocket back up. Now here's a boss that's either really quick or really tedious depending on enemy pattern. And no, you can't rocket down towards him, you'll just end up falling into the pit. Even if you're an Einstein level genius and you found just the precise way to get Sparkster back up to this railing, he still won't do it. He'll bounce off the other way and just fall down and die. So here's the alternative. You use these bombs in order to drop it down onto this pig machine. That is if the bombs spawn above the pig machine, of course, because he is going to waver back and forth. In between rounds, he will have this flamethrower attack, which you could just easily go left or right in order to avoid. And that's about the extent of this guy's attack. He does nothing else. I don't even know how Sparkster is holding on with just his tail. I mean, look at him. And he's upside down with his head down. And he's 10,000 feet in the air. Man, has a brave soul right there. But then again, he's got a jetpack, so he's probably thinking, I don't know, I'll be fine. I can just fly back up here. And here we have these Sonic the Hedgehog-ass platforms. If I seriously squint hard enough, these look like the Marble Zone chain blocks. Now we're in the inside of the airship, and we have these sailor-looking dudes with rocket launchers. Hey, ain't these sailors supposed to be on the sea? What is this? Sky Navy? I don't get it. Anyway, you have to inch your way forward while avoiding these laser gates as well as the rocket launchers. And you'll be at the boss in no time. This stage is actually really short. I forgot to mention that the bazooka guys also infinitely respawn, so you just have to keep moving here. Sweet, gotta love that potassium. Anyway, here's the boss. It's Giant Robot. Actually, no, it's gonna be the Colonel dude, but the Giant Robot's just a shield, basically. The Giant Robot's attacks is doing whatever the hell that dance motion is and trying to knock stuff down onto Sparkster. And look at him go! Holy crap! Yeah, that's some blast processing right there. He's got the hips to do it, or stomach, I don't know. Anyway, your chance to strike is when he does this energy blast attack. He'll shoot 4 of those energy blasts and you'll get at least 3 hits, or 3 attempts to hit him. If you're quick enough. Remember that Sparkster does have iframes whenever he's boosting, so don't worry about getting hit. You'll pass through the spark balls and hit the core regardless. And that's the robot down, but you still gotta deal with the Colonel, who is running around like a pansy. So what do? Well, you just hit him. That's it. Any attempt of him trying to tackle you, you just counter with hitting him, and he'll pass right through you. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a fight worth talking about. Rocket Knight Adventures, more like Rocket Knight Misadventures, am I right? That was bad. Here's stage 5, which starts out on a rather tough shmup section. Here you have to avoid these rockets, which will fly at rather odd angles. What you have to do is go with the flow if you don't want to get hit. I don't suggest weaving in between the small spots because Sparkster's hitbox is kind of large and iffy, so you might still get hit regardless. And there are no healing items in this part of the stage, and no checkpoints, so if you, God forbid, die on the final part of this flying section, all the way back to the rockets. There's going to be another set of rockets that fly in a more predictable pattern. What you need to do is stay in between the large gap in the patterns, which is kind of forced upon the player. There is a strange amount of slowdown whenever you hit the rockets with your sword, so use that to your advantage. Rockets going faster now. This part you just need to memorize because it is tricky. Random pig soldier. And now we're going down into the city streets itself. We got a mini boss to contend with. The boss is a straight ripoff of the core warship from Gradius. You have to cut through the shield barriers that are going to be on the front of the ship. This boss does shoot twin blasters, which you can fit in between, but it's super dangerous to do that, so just fly all the way around. There's also this attack, which you need to fly through the largest gap in order to avoid. So this boss is relatively easy to get the pattern down, but on normal mode, you also only have 3 hits before you die to this guy. He's like a Man from Mega Man 1, except nowhere near as bullshit. I like a Man. He's a cool character design. I don't see why people hate him. I know the boss fight, but he's a pretty cool boss fight too. I like how the scrolling works on the street. It looks like some sort of optical illusion or something. It's really trippy. Here's phase 2 of this mini boss, who's kind of like the that one boss from Life Force. I think it was the brain with the arms. Yeah, that brain boss. This one is kind of like that. You just have to avoid the tendrils here. The good thing about this game is you can skate along the road and not take damage. Other shoot 'em ups are not so kind. Dive down into the road if you need to. Hell, you actually do need to in some cases. Come on, die already. I know you want to die. There we go. Man, that explosion was not as epic as I thought it would be. And now we're in the inner workings of the determined... Whatever the name of this pig empire is, we're in their facility. And you do not want to touch those silver knights as they will kill you in one hit, regardless of difficulty level. Here you have to book it because you're racing these knights towards the teleporter before they reach it and close you in and kill you in one hit, regardless of difficulty. You know what? I should probably just stop saying American normal. Just the American version's tough as hell. In fact, all of the Sparkster games are a bit on the tougher side. Now this one is the easiest to get the hang of for sure, but something like Sparkster on the Sega Genesis is definitely really hard. Sparkster on the Super Nintendo, I've only played that 2 times before, and I remember it being slightly dickish, but not quite as bad as Sega Genesis Sparkster for sure. And the only reason that is because Rocket Knight 2 is way, way, way more different than the other 2 games. Anyway, here's an elevator section where you have to avoid the ceilings, otherwise you get crushed. Only use the rockets when truly necessary. You don't want to bounce yourself into the walls and crush yourself to death. Ooh, yeah, that was truly necessary, but that also could have gone poorly at the same time. Now we're at the section with the elevators that kind of remind me of Sonic Spinball from the machine level. Pretty self-explanatory. You strike right in order to go down, and you strike left in order to go up. This part is easy, but later on you'll have spikes which will kill you in one hit, pretty much like almost everything else in this level, so you have to watch out for that section. Damn. At least I'm not in the spike section. I'm gonna have to do this again. Dude, this is club music right here. Now, I did mention this before, but one of the composers of this game went on to make the Symphony of the Night soundtrack, and it is phenomenal. One of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Well, Symphony of the Night is my favorite Castlevania game, and one of my favorite games of all time, so it makes sense. I don't think Michiru Yamane returned for the Sparkster games after this, but it was composed by somebody else that was famous, and those soundtracks also kick ass. I want to be careful of the radioactive spikes, which are giving me kryptonite vibes. I don't know why, they just look like kryptonite to me. Superman's quaking in his boots even as we speak. Oh god, it's Axel. That's the treacherous bastard I mentioned in part 1. And he is in a pig mech. Or something, I don't know. He's in a giant Zord. Or insert giant mecha robot from anime, I don't know. It could be a Gundam or the Ideon or an Evangelion. It doesn't matter. Oh god, please make it. Sparkster, you have to live! You have to— oh shit, I'm gonna die. Ah! Sparkster, you Sonic Mickey Mouse looking fuck! With a jetpack. This is Rocket Balboa, and I don't know why we have boxing matches with possums and mechs. Here's the best boss fight in the game. It's you versus Axel Gear in a boxing match. You can only afford to get hit twice here, but the satisfaction of punching Axel Gear— wow, what is this, Streets of Rage? Axel Gear in the face is something to behold. You are allowed to get a couple of cheap shots in for free, but after the 4th or 5th hit, Axel will start to get wise, start to back away. That's when you want to coax him into attacking, so that way he punches the air and not you, and you take damage and all that stuff, and you're just kind of flowing with the combat, kind of like an actual boxing match. Fuck, I didn't know Creed died this violently! And that was the best boss fight in all of Rocket Knight Adventures. And I do mean the whole series. The boss fights peak here. Anyway, that's going to be the end of part 2 of RKA. Stay tuned for the finale.